This week on Wildcat News, we learn more about the swim team.
We meet a student who won a poetry competition.
And we talk with students about their opinions on ghosting.
All these stories and more coming up because Wildcat News starts now.
Good morning, West Johnston. I'm Catherine Green.
And I'm Maddie Avery.
With the swim competition season coming to an end, Allison Wade talks with team members to learn more about their experiences competing.
Making a splash on the swim team this season, juniors Daniel Thompson and Griffin Brown share what make their sport unique.
Some people think that it's easier than it actually is, but it's like your sport, but like 10 times harder. With swim, it really just focuses on really all of like your muscles and like your respiratory system and your capacity to be able to go fast when you want to and like be able to like flip a switch in your brain and be like, okay, it's time to go fast. And really, it's a lot about mental health too, because you're basically just staring at a black line at the bottom of the pool the entire time, and that causes your mind to go places, and sometimes those places can be dark, and it's just an entirely different sport.
Brown shares the hardships of being a student and an athlete.
Swim, it's just like a different feeling. It's kind of similar to track in the way that it's both an individual and a team sport, but like it just feels a little more united. Like get like competitive with your friends. Like it's just like a good feeling. Like you're pushing each other to be the best that they can be. They don't think we put as much work in it. They think we just play around in a pool. But if you see the amount of work that some of the Olympians put in, you would not be laughing. It's very hard to find that balance of work, social life, and school. You have to rush through your homework whenever you get home, which is a lot of long nights, especially if you're on a year-round team. And I think I've been doing an all right job.
Thompson shares why he enjoys swimming.
Again, the atmosphere that it has, like all the friendships that I've gained through it and like continued through the sport, and just like swimming against friends and like knowing what it feels like to like race against other schools and like try to like be the best that I can be and all that jazz.
I'm Allison Wade, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Allison. Recently, a student won the annual Poetry Out Loud competition. Catherine Green reports.
On December 10th, the annual Poetry Out Loud competition took place. Senior Colin Beard won first place and describes how poetry impacts him.
It's like music. It connects to people just like the lyrics of music connect to people, and it's carried throughout generations. But sometimes the music is more put out there. Poetry are mostly written down in books. You can't have too many people memorizing like Homer since he was blind. I think poetry should go on just about as much as that of music because I love music as well.
Beard explains how he prepared for the competition.
I write it down word by word and read through it while I'm listening to it. And it starts to sync with memory if I recite it out loud while listening to it and reading it at the same time.
Beard reflects on his experience.
I made some great friends going to the competition. I didn't think of them more of opponents, but other reciters, honestly, they memorized their poems just like I did, and they felt a big message in there. They had an emotional connection to their poem.
Beard offers advice to anyone interested in doing poetry out loud in the future.
Just don't be too nervous or afraid to put yourself out there. No one's going to stop you except you, honestly. The crowd's not going to hate you. If you mess up, you could probably come back from it. You get better. To lower classmen, it's not too embarrassing to think that poetry is good. You could put your opinion out there and people might not agree with you, but it's what you think that matters.
I'm Catherine Green, Wildcat News.
What makes the year 2020 so special? Anaya Cox gives insight.
Recently, a new year and a new decade has started. Along with New Year's resolutions and goals, much is to be expected going into the year 2020. Sophomore Aiden Schweitzer shares what going into a new decade means to her and how she plans to start the new year.
I think going into a new decade is like a fresh start for everybody. I definitely want to focus more on my grades and make that a point, and I'm going to work a lot harder in school than I have been this year. Even though new year, new me is kind of cheesy, I think if you're really dedicated to it, it applies to some people and some of their situations.
Sophomore Landon Job expresses his excitement for upcoming events of 2020.
I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl and seeing J-Lo because J-Lo is one of my favorite people, and I just love her, so that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing her on the big screen.
Schweitzer shares important events that will take place this year.
My brother's graduating, which is going to be really difficult to deal with, and I'm turning 16, so I'll finally be able to drive.
Job reveals forthcoming plans and how he will be entering the new year.
Going into the new year, I'm excited about getting my license, and I don't really want to change because I am my own person. I just like to keep stuff the same when there's really nothing to change.
So what will you be looking forward to this year? I'm Anaya Cox, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Anaya. Have you ever been ghosted? Maddie Avery reports.
Ghosting is known as ending all communication through Snapchat, Instagram, texting, calling, and more with someone you are in a personal relationship with. Sophomore Riley Wood explains how ghosting could affect someone.
Being ghosted can definitely hurt someone emotionally. I mean, if someone is talking to you and everything's fine and you're in a relationship or you're friends and they choose to stop talking to you, it could definitely affect you psychologically.
A student who requested to remain anonymous shares why they think someone would ghost another person. I think someone would ghost someone else because if they are trying to talk to you and you just don't want to talk to them or deal with it, you just don't answer them. It could hurt their feelings. Wood gives advice for people who have been ghosted.
If you've been ghosted, let that person go. I think if they don't give you the respect and the time to tell you what is going on with them, you shouldn't give them the time and respect to come back.
The anonymous student explains why they think ghosting is common. Ghosting is common, especially in high school students, because I'm pretty sure everyone's been ghosted or ghosted someone. Wood talks about how he thinks ghosters view ghosting.
I think people look at it as a trophy on their shelf. Taking a relationship and ending it abruptly, they think of it as a story to tell instead of an actual person behind a screen.
The anonymous student states why they think ghosting is a problem. I guess it is a problem because it affects some people. If you want to solve it, bring attention to it. I'm Maddie Avery, Wildcat News.
Well, that's all for us this week. If you have any comments, questions, or story leads, email us at wjstudentmedia@gmail.com or send us a tweet at wjstudentmedia.
And if you want to watch Wildcat News at home, on the go, or catch up on past episodes, go to wjstudentmedia.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Maddie Avery.
And I'm Katherine Green. Thanks for watching and have a great week.